back from Chris K. Today I'm joined by...
Yo, what up? It's TechnoMonkey001.
Alright, so don't forget to check out his channel, subscribe, and he'll be posting new videos and restarting his channel soon. So, don't forget to subscribe and wait for that to happen, alright? So, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing a movie review. Now, obviously, we're going to be doing Spider-Man Homecoming, the latest addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, this movie was directed by John Watts, produced by Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal. It was based on, obviously, Spider-Man by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, the legendary, and it stars Tom Holland as the third incarnation of Spider-Man, and also has a supporting cast of Michael Keaton, Jon Favreau, Zendaya, Donald Glover, Tim Daly, Marissa Tomei, and, of course, Iron Man himself, Robert Downey Jr. Now, the music was also by legendary Michael Giacchino. Now, I'm going to hand it over to Technical Monkey to continue.
So we were very pleased to know that people like Zendaya and Donald Glover were in the movie, but they didn't have that big a role.
I feel like what I kind of feel is that they're advertised too much. It kind of hurt the movie to see how they barely had any role, especially Donald Glover, I have to say, because he's such a big star, and of course he had barely a role, but they advertise him so much.
We'll get more into that in
the opinion section.
Yeah. So first of all, the release date was July 28th, 2007.
June 28th.
June 28th, 2017. It's 133 minutes long, and their budget was $175 million. So they were comfortable.
They're decent, very comfortable. And so far, the box office is $571.9 million, but obviously it's still playing in theaters. So we'll see how that plays out.
All right. So so we've already talked about the budget and money, the cast, and the release date.
So let's go on to the story.
So, what did you think of the story of the whole thing?
Well, honestly, I was pleased to see that this movie was in fact not an origin story. Because we've seen that too many times with Uncle Ben dying, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, them getting bitten. So I'm glad to see that wasn't an origin story, but I feel like it still had that kind of like feeling. But I think it was great. It was a good starter for the movie. I actually hope they do some sequels. But let's get into the actual story. So
placed in New York City. It was a very interesting story in my opinion. It was somewhat predictable in my opinion. What do you think?
I mean, it was interesting that they finally got into the damage control section of the comic books. That was interesting, and obviously, the Falcon, they totally kind of redone his character, because in the comics, he looks like, he doesn't have much technology at all in the comics, but they totally redid him with Michael Keaton.
So
that's interesting.
So then...
It was also fun to see Michael Keaton going, not playing Batman anymore, but now going to the Marvel story.
So let me talk to you about what I thought. So basically... It started off in a couple years before the present, and then where he was getting
Adrian the Tombs villain.
He was getting a living, right? But then Stark Industries, the Stark company,
started
took
damage
over.
control, and they took over their jobs. So obviously, Adrian Toomes, he's like, oh, the rich, they're taking away our jobs, blah 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 blah.
But basically,
so he gets frustrated.
They took away all the things. So then he essentially lost his job, and all he was trying to do was provide for his family.
But they did something, okay? They had a group of people, right? Now they're obviously unemployed. But before they left, they took some of the Chitauri, obviously from Avengers 1, the Chitauri technology, and now they've started an entire business in the present using that technology to sell weapons to bad guys. That's basically the background. Let's get into Peter Parker.
So Peter Parker was basically your average high school guy, but then he was very lucky to have So basically,
we don't know much about the new Peter Parker backstory, but we're assuming it's the same as the older one.
Exactly. So basically, he was somehow. So basically, he was bitten. We're assuming he was bitten by a spider. Same way
as Andrew Garfield.
Exactly.
So, anyways, what they do is
the Stark
internship.
Yeah,
the Stark internship.
That was hilarious.
So basically, Peter Parker's office. You see him battling in what is it called? Civil War. But what happens is now, obviously, everyone wants to know what he's doing, so he makes up this whole story of a Stark internship, and obviously he's a high school student. He has friends.
Technically, it's not a lie.
It's not a lie
because he's actually still has.
But he's kind of disguising it, alright. So in the old movies, he always has this kind of bully, Flash Thompson. Now they did a good job of kind of redoing him. So we have a new Flash Thompson. Yeah. New Flash Thompson here. So
and the way he bullies him is a little worse. So if you're a little younger, I think you should maybe just skip on this one. If you're a little older, I think it's fine.
He bullies him a lot. But it's just kind of the rival. The rival that's not a villain. That's not a villain.
And he's basically only
the academic decathlon. So basically, they're really smart teenagers in a high school. All right. So his best friend is Ned. So
he's a complete nerd. And
but he's a loyal friend, and he's the one who finally finds out that Peter Parker is in fact Spider-Man. All the Lego Star Wars references are amazing, honestly. But yeah, and then also we have go back to Adrian Toomes. His associates, the Shocker, Herman, the Shocker, and all these people. Yeah. They're making weapons. Okay, so next we go to the academic decathlon. It's basically a bunch of smart teenagers. They go to this academic decathlon in Washington D.C. All right, so they go to the decathlon. Okay, and
basically something happens. Basically, Peter Parker sees a flash, right?
Yeah. Well, he knows because he has a tracker of Adrian Toomes. Yeah. So he knows that Adrian Toomes is going to be in Washington D.C. So what he does is the night before the decathlon, he goes to hunt Adrian Toomes.
Meanwhile, Tony Stark knows nothing about this.
So next, what will happen is obviously he'll just go into he actually gets captured and stuck in this warehouse. Okay.
And, basically, I thought the scene was very, very. It was not as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
Basically, he was captured into
I feel like they could have built up that backstory more.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, they captured him into a truck and then brought him to.
Yeah, and then blah blah blah. That happened. He eventually escapes. I mean, it's not that important how he escapes. Basically, Washington Monument goes boom boom, and then he has to save the Washington Monument. So that's basically the first part of the story. Let's just go quickly so we can actually get into our thoughts. So basically, then he goes home. Obviously, he failed to capture Toomes, and then what happens is he finally persuades Donald Glover's character to tell him where Toomes' whereabouts are. He says he's going to be on the Staten Island ferry. Blah blah blah. If you've seen the trailer, you know what happens. It splits in half. Then he obviously is unable to save it, so Iron Man comes to save the day, and boom, Iron Man is obviously really mad. He takes away the suit for Parker. Alright, so...
And then, this is one line which I thought was very heartfelt. If you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve it. That was very heartfelt.
Iron Man. Okay.
Iron Man's the GOAT.
Iron Man's the boss. Alright, so, I'll leave it to you to discuss the last part quickly.
So, basically, so Peter returns to his school life, and he's basically same old, and
he goes to the homecoming dance, blah blah blah.
Let me
discuss. There's one thing, okay? So he asked Liz to the homecoming dance. She says yes, okay? Now on the night of the dance, Parker. This is one of the best parts.
This is the best twist.
This is the best twist
in Marvel history.
Parker rings the doorbell. All right, and he finds out Liz's dad is Michael Keaton. That was amazing. Everyone oh my god, in the theater.
One of the best twists.
Probably one of the best twists.
Yeah.
So blah blah blah. During the dance, Parker has to abandon the dance, and he goes to Toomes' lair. He gets ambushed by the Shocker. He defeats him, and Ned takes that shot. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Ned takes the shot of the Shocker. So then he goes to. Yeah, and then basically, what happens after that is Ned takes the final shot. He gets captured by Toomes. Basically, his whole warehouse falls on top. Somehow he survives. Then basically what's happening is Tony Stark is selling Avengers Tower. So he has this plane with all the materials moving.
And they're moving.
And also I want to tell you Happy Hogan.
Happy Hogan.
He was John Favreau. Awesome. He was pretty awesome character.
He was a great actor though.
John Favreau. He directed Jungle Book actually.
I know. He's
a great actor and director.
He was amazing in the movie.
He was great.
He completely fit his role.
His role, the happy fat guy. No offense. Okay. So basically the Stark plane, Toomes is trying to intercept that Stark plane because obviously it has a lot of valuables from the Avengers Tower. He jumps on a Stark plane crashes, and then he eventually ends up capturing Toomes.
He saves his life though. He was about to die, but he saves his life.
basically he saves Tomb's life. But did you see the end credits scene after the end credits?
No.
Okay, I have to show you. Basically, blah blah blah. He tells Aunt May everything is good. After her father's arrest, Liz moves away sadly. And then Parker declines an invitation to join the Avengers.
I thought it
was quite humble, but I actually wanted him to take it.
Yeah, because then it would have been
cool for the next movie.
The next Avengers movie.
Yeah, it would have been cool to see that for Infinity War.
I guess that would have
possibly Thor Ragnarok, but I don't think so. I don't think Spider-Man's gonna be in Thor Ragnarok, but we know Hulk is there.
I think he can now be like a side character in every Avengers movie.
But he's gonna be in Infinity War, obviously. Yeah. So basically after that, this is a mid-credit scene. So basically, what happens is there's a criminal, and he finds out.
Yeah, I saw that.
The end credit scene. So this is a scene after the credits. It's a very cool scene. Basically, another criminal who was featured in the movie knows who and where Peter Parker Spider-Man is, and then he knows if Toombs he doesn't know where Spider-Man is, but if Toombs tells him in prison, if this happens in prison, if Toombs tells the criminal where Parker is, he'll break him out of the prison.
Spider-Man Homecoming 2?
Basically,
Spider-Man Homecoming 2?
Basically, this is what happens. So basically, in the end credits, they're in prison, 2 people, Toombs, and then this other guy, okay? So
Spider-Man Homecoming 2?
And then the other guy basically says, okay, I'll get you out of prison if you tell me who Spider-Man is. And then, surprisingly, Toombs declines and basically saves Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So that was a bit surprising, but...
Spider-Man Homecoming 2.
Spider-Man Homecoming 2?
Question mark?
So, let's get into the thoughts. So I'll leave it to you.
So, basically, of course, for money reasons, they brought in two stars in
Robert Downey Jr. and John.
They brought in 3 stars actually.
Actually, a lot of people. Donald Glover, Zendaya, a lot of young cast.
Well, of course, Robert Downey Jr. is gonna have to be in it, right?
Yeah.
And then they brought in lots of young cast because it's based in high school, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I
thought they did a great job. One of my favorite characters was definitely Ned.
Ned was good.
He was a great part. He definitely had a lot of screen time. I was happy about that.
All right. So from a standpoint of animation, what's your rating out of 10?
Animation.
Out of 10.
CGI.
Yeah. Just any editing, animation.
I mean, I think they did a good job. Like they definitely made the movie appealing to a whole age group. Many people. Everyone was appealed to watch movies.
This scene that I'm showing you right now on screen of Spider-Man pulling the 2 boat pieces together.
That was really good.
And that whole scene area was amazing.
I mean, it's Marvel. They're obviously going to have some great special effects.
So out of 10, what's your rating?
I mean, I give this one definitely my favorite Spider-Man movie. Definitely for you too. What do you think about the other ones?
I know, but give me a rating out of 10 for the editing.
Visual effects?
For the visual effects.
I'd give it actually an 8.
I was going to give it an 8.
Because, I mean, they do a good job, but I feel like since this is semi-origin story, there's like one main bad guy, and...
Also, the Martian Monument editing was also pretty nice.
That was amazing. Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, they didn't even film at the Washington Monument, too. It was pretty amazing.
Oh, remember Suit Lady?
Suit Lady.
Yeah, the person who kept talking.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like they did a good job at editing wise. The whole movie, I feel like they did a good job.
How about the plot? How do you think about the plot?
The plot, I feel like it was predictable.
For me, I think it was kind of lackluster.
Yeah, I feel like it was, but just the cast of the movie,
I think they brought it back at the end with the plot twist.
The plot twist
that was good, but
but the middle part was a little predictable, honestly.
Yeah, and
I feel like I'm looking forward to the next movie because
the whole girlfriend thing,
the first movie. I mean, the first movie is actually usually not the best in my opinion. I feel like they're gonna do a good job in the second one because now they've kind of developed the new characters, so they can go more deeper into the story. Because obviously they had to introduce a whole new cast, so they couldn't do as much with the editing and the villains and everything. They had to accomplish a lot, and I feel like they did a good job.
How about from the actor's role? How would you think
I feel like Jon Favreau did a great job. So did Robert Downey Jr. as normal. I feel like the new
Spider-Man.
Tom Holland, I feel like he did a good job.
And
honestly, as we mentioned before, Zendaya and Donald Glover definitely, and even Aunt May and Marissa Tomei, their roles were. They made it sound like their roles were really big in the movie, but it was kind of sad to see that they barely had any screen time.
Happy?
Yeah.
That was amazing how that was very, very smart of them, okay?
Yeah.
They made it seem like he was having like a huge role, right? but they didn't give him that good of a role. But it was like some sort of illusion to make him seem like he had a good role because he was like the whole right hand man of Peter Parker. That was nice. That was smart.
I think we can end. What would you give the entire movie rating?
A percent? No, as like a percent.
I mean, I think they could have done
93%. 93%.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes obviously did a good score on it, but
yeah.
You know what? I think I'd give it actually in 90%, just because I feel like they did a good job doing it, evening out between villains and introducing the characters. But I feel like it was a little lackluster.
How about not from a movie critiques fest? But
I really enjoyed it, and I give it 100%. 95%.
How about not from a movie critique standpoint, but from like a viewer standpoint?
Viewer perspective is totally different. I think I give it like 95 to 98%.
I would give it like a less, like I give it more, but like not so much. I'll give it like a 94 because they didn't give the big names.
Critique, I give it a 90%.
I give it 93 as a movie critique, and as a fan standpoint, I give it a 94.
Yeah, fan standpoint is a little disappointed just because they weren't introducing as many well-known characters, so I'd give it maybe 88%. So
okay, and then this one scene that they failed, the Zendaya scene where she's like, "What are you hiding, Peter?"
Zendaya's character. I mean, I liked her character, but I feel like they could have done a lot more. They really
Yeah, but you remember that Washington Monument scene where she was like, "I don't like appreciating something that was built by slaves." That was good.
That was good. She had some great lines, but I feel like they could have done
No,
more.
but once again, she created the illusion that she had a much bigger part.
Oh, yeah, same with Donald Glover. He had like 2 scenes at most. So that's going to be it for our movie review. Hopefully you enjoyed and enjoyed seeing all the scenes in between. So that's going to be it. Adios, guys. See you later.